The Birds and Bees homestead is officially moving. This has been in the works for probably a month or two at this point, and I'm so excited to show you the new homestead. Jeff and I have been browsing properties that have come up for sale over the last year. Not super seriously looking, we're pretty happy where we are, so we weren't necessarily eager to move, but wanted to see what was out there. And we came across the perfect house, perfect property for us. I can't wait to show you. So we came across this property and had to bid immediately. We had an accepted offer within a day or so after seeing the house. And so that meant we had to get our butts in gear and get our house listed for sale when we weren't necessarily planning on listing our house for sale. We were in the middle of a renovation, so we had to quickly wrap that up and tackle any unfinished project that we have accumulated over the last 3 years. We had an accepted offer to purchase our new house. Within the week, we had our house listed for sale, and then by the following week, we had an official sale on our house. So it's been a busy and stressful last month, but now that all of the paperwork is finished, everything's signed, now it's time to just get this little city homestead all packed up and ready to move into the country. So the house that we bought is actually a smaller house, which I'm looking forward to because the house that we have now is it's a big house for just Jeff and I and the 2 dogs. But the property is going to be so much bigger. We're on about 3/4 of an acre here in the city, and we will have almost 7 acres at our new place. And our new house has a big garage, and it goes all the way down to the water. So the water that is accessible on our property is kind of like a marsh, but it accesses the main river, so we could put a boat out there. Jeff could go duck hunting. I'm really excited for all the possibilities at this new place. Now, in trying to get ready to move, there are a few complications that is making this move a little bit more difficult than your standard move. The new homeowner that bought our property wants to keep the chicken coop, which I'm really excited about. The fact that the new homeowner is hopefully going to continue homesteading in the city. Apparently the chickens brought the homeowner so much joy, and she can't wait to get up and spend her days out hanging out with her chickens. So I'm really excited about that, but that means we needed a new chicken coop at our new house on day 1. I knew that moving this one was going to be a big pain in the butt, and I also knew that we would be outgrowing this chicken coop very quickly because there is not a city bylaw limit on the number of chickens I can have in the country. So we really need to get organized on building a new chicken coop. I just got notice that my honeybees are going to be in this coming Sunday, which will be 3 weeks prior to our move-in date at the new homestead. Luckily, we seem to have that complication solved because I got permission from the current homeowner to set the bees up directly on their property, which is our future property. That way I don't have to set my bees up here in the city and then a few weeks later move them up to the country. So that's a huge relief, and I'm really grateful to them to let us set the bees up early. And I'll probably make a whole separate video on what my plan is for getting ready to get the bees and then showing you what the setup is when we get there. Now back to the chickens. So we move out of our current house a week before we move into our next house. So we're essentially homeless for a week, which is really tricky when you have a bunch of chickens, 2 dogs, and a lot of stuff. So I have found a solution for the chickens, thankfully. My cousin, who has raised many chickens in the past, he's down to his last chicken, but that means he has a really big coop that has lots of room, and he is a very experienced chicken owner. He is who I go to with all of my chicken related questions. So my chickens will be in foster care for the week that we are homeless, and then maybe even a little bit after that, because we still need to get a coop built so that we can bring them up to our new property and keep them safe as soon as they arrive. So that is one more complication that we seem to have resolved. We're still working on the details of what we're going to do with ourselves and our stuff, but I think all of the above are just going to be at friends and family's houses. Our move date, our 2 move dates are like mid to end of July. And I've already planted out so many fruits and vegetables all throughout my property. I had so many seeds started that I didn't know what to do with when we decided to buy this property, because I don't really want to have to leave all these fruits and vegetables behind and not be able to harvest them. So I was trying to be pretty selective on what I planted and what I put up in pots, because I figured at least if I'm growing something in a container, I could bring that with me, but that's also something else that's a little bit complicated to have to move, especially where I'm going to be moving them twice and having to find storage for it for the week that we are homeless. I had my whole front yard all torn up trying to extend my garden as big as I could possibly make it. And when we were getting ready to sell our house, we realized that most home buyers want a pretty standard green grass lawn. And so my big mud hole of a future garden setup probably wasn't going to help us sell our house. And scattered throughout this big mud pile was a bunch of fruit trees that I had planted within the last year. So because these were very young trees, and I spent a lot of money on all of the trees that I planted on my property, I decided to dig them all up. I should actually do a count to see how many trees it was, but I dug up all of my fruit trees and some bushes and grapevines, and I ended up just keeping them in pots, and those are being fostered at my parents' house right now. And I wanted to do that before we listed the house because we wanted to fix up the front yard so that it was like nicely landscaped for potential home buyers, but I also did not want to have to put those trees in as an exclusion because I wanted to bring them with me. I thought maybe a home buyer would want to keep them, and I just didn't want to have to go back and forth on it, so I just decided to dig them up, and I'm glad that I did that. And that chore's already off my to-do list. I'll just be able to plant them directly when we get to our new homestead. Well, the fruit trees are dealt with for now. I did end up digging up some berry bushes. Raspberries grow like weeds, so I figured I might as well take some of those with me as well. So I have a lot of perennial flowers and fruits that I'd like to bring with me by splitting them, so I can take some but make sure to leave plenty behind for the new homeowner. So I've been working away at trying to do that, and I'm just trying to keep an eye on all of the annual flowers and vegetables that I have planted in my garden. Need to decide at a future date what I'm going to do with those. I don't know if I'm going to be able to harvest tomatoes by mid-July, or if I'm going to want to dig up my tomato plants and bring them. That'll be a future Taylor problem. My garlic's looking really healthy, and my potatoes are looking really healthy, so I'm thinking that I should at least be able to harvest those and bring that with me. But I already have so many potted plants sitting on my parents' deck that they're fostering, and they're not gardeners. My dad has lots of perennial flowers, but has never really had fruits and vegetables. I've got these giant planters that I'm going to bring with me as well. So I've clearly got lots and lots of plants to be moved, and that doesn't even include my indoor plants, which I still need to find a foster home for those. So stay tuned, because as per usual, this homestead is just going to continue to be chaotic for the next month. I will bring you along with me when we pick up our bees and set them up at the new homestead. Maybe we can go for a little walk and I can show you a little bit of what the land looks like. I'm already drafting up what my future chicken coop build is going to be like. It's definitely going to be way bigger for way more chickens, maybe some quail. I'm dreaming of hatching baby chicks. I'm going to get a rooster, that's for sure. Now that I'm not in the city and restricted by bylaws, I can't wait to get a rooster. So there's lots of exciting things coming up. So I hope you stay tuned. I apologize. It's been a long time since I posted a video. It's been since Pantry Challenge. I've been filming a lot, but I have yet to edit those videos because I just got busy in the spring with a couple of seasonal jobs in addition to my full-time job. And now life has just been hectic and chaotic, trying to finish projects to get our house sold. But that's the way life is on this homestead and probably on the future homestead. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'm excited to go on this new journey at the new homestead, and I hope you're excited as well. I'll see you next time. Here is a video of our house and our property that was used in our listing. I love this video so much. It is such a bittersweet feeling, honestly, knowing that we're about to move into this wonderful new house with so much land, and I cannot wait. But I really do love this house that we've been in over the last 3 years. We've done so much work, we've made it our own, we've grown it into this little city homestead, and I really am going to miss it. When we moved into this house about 3 years ago, we thought we were moving into our forever home, and we'd spent the last 3 years fixing it up according to our needs. We completely redid a bathroom and a laundry room and have just been kind of updating and upgrading the rest of the house over the last 3 years. But we never really did grow into this house. It's just so big. But we very quickly outgrew the property. I was trying to plant fruit trees around my septic tank, and I think that was really the trigger to tell us we need more land. So as much as we love this house and we've loved our last 3 years here, I cannot wait until we make this new house our home, and I'm excited to bring you along on that journey.